Hello everyone, let's get started on the Windows 7 project part 2 of the Windows PowerShell and the Windows PowerShell integrated scripting environment. So let's get started. Now let's move on to scripting in Windows PowerShell ISE. So what are the basics of scripting by using Windows PowerShell? So first of all, we're going to using variables in scripting, and we want to create PSH scripts and view and edit PHS scripts on your PowerShell, and then we're going to using the if statement and the else if statement today on your PowerShell. We're going to create and making the .ps1 script by opening up the .ps1 script and put it to your Windows PowerShell ISE. Now we're going to add in the script on Windows PowerShell ISE, and then we can run on the script, and we're going to change the script and create the variable, which is args array, and then we are going to use the elevated command line parameters, and last but not least, I'm going to we're going to create subfolders. Create multi-folders and subfolders on Windows PowerShell ISE. Okay, a lot of people know, how do I change the script? Well, you can change the hardcode number on a script, and you can add another variable to the script by replacing the variable to the script, and always run it and rerun the script as soon as possible. Now, there's one more thing to put on the input. To use your input. Well, you always remember to enter the CPU threshold on your input at Windows PowerShell ISE. Now, on the PowerShell ISE, the foreground color changes because it could be on the output pane while you running the script. Now, on the PowerShell command window, you go to Start Run Box, type the file name, and hit enter, but before you run down the script, you always enter the CPU threshold. And then the foreground color changes because it is the same thing as running the script on Windows PowerShell ISE. Now, let's take a look at my examples of my script to run the script on Windows PowerShell ISE. Now, I use the get service with the get service command with the pippin object, and I use for each object, and then use the if command and the else if command, which is the variable, the LT, which is less than 25, and the verb on number 3, and number 5, the else if statement with the variable that goes with GT. That means greater than 25. Now, I use the right host command, and I use the foreground color, which is green on number 4, and number 6 will be blue. And then I run the script with my green triangle button, and it shows a lot of lists on the output pane for get service command. Okay, today we're going to talk about the basic comparison operators. Now, there are two statements that can use on the script. Now, the first one was the if statement. Now, the if statement describes a language command that you can run the statement list based on the results of one or more tasks. Now, the second one, the else if statement, was a chain of series of conditional tests unless the test is run only. Now, you can use the if statement and the else if statement by adding the variable with the basic comparison operators and then the hard-coded number. Now GT is greater than, for example, 55 is greater than 54. Now GE is greater than or equal to, for example, 55 is greater than or equal to 54. Now, EQ is equal to, for example, 54 is equal to 54. That stays the same. Now, in E, it's not equal to, for example, 54 is not equal to 55. So, it's not close enough. LT is less than. Now, 54, for example, is less than 55. And finally, LE is less than or equal to. For example, 54 is less than or equal to 55. So these are the basic comparison operators. Right now, here's my second example of Windows PowerShell ISE. I changed the get service to get process. Now, I changed number 3 and number 5 for the if statement and else if statement. Now, for number 3, the if statement, which is the variable that is less than or equal to a hard code number, which is 50 instead of 25. Now, the else if uses a variable which is GE greater than or equal to the hard code number, which is 50 instead of 25. So it's kind of look same but different on number 3 and number 5. And then I'll use to run the script and rerun the script by using green triangle button. And the get process shows the output pane to run it down. On the PowerShell ISE. And then it works the same thing as get service with the less than and greater than. So in Windows PowerShell ISE, how do you specify a threshold? Now, you can change the hardcode number by using the variable. For example, use the variable which is the $sign and the A and don't forget the equal button, read host, and then use the prompt and then type your name. Enter the CPU threshold. Now, the term read host means read the line input. Like, for example, enter your name, enter your zip code, enter your phone number, enter your password, enter your serial ID, enter your code, or anything you can enter the line of the input on Windows PowerShell and Windows Command Prompt. Now, you can enter the number on the threshold on Windows PowerShell ISE or on your Windows Command Prompt Window. Now you can change the script by using the variable args array, and you could remember, when you go to Windows PowerShell Command Prompt, you do the start run box, and then you type with a parameter value number on the run box. Start run box. So when it runs, it shows the output on your Windows PowerShell Command Prompt. So, for example, on the next page, now here's my example of using the Windows PowerShell ISE for the third example. I add down one, and then I use the variable, which is the $A equals read host, and don't forget the prompt, and then I type the word or phrase, enter the CPU threshold, and then I change the get process to get alias command. Now for 4 and 6, I changed to the variable instead of 50 for number 4 and number 6, and then I run the script, and the Windows PowerShell ISE input appears in the dialog box, so I can enter the CPU threshold, which is the number 100, and then I run down the script, and shows the output pane has a lot of get alias command, which is the CPU threshold gave me a number 100 on the output pane. Now it's quite simple how to do the CPU threshold by using the get alias command, and then the read host on top next to the prompt in the variable. So we'll get on to it next, which is the threshold value. This is the threshold value from the script to a new PowerShell Command Prompt Window. Shows my example how to run with the Windows PowerShell Command Window. Command Prompt Window. So I type it down, my file name, PowerShell, with no exit, and then I choose my script, and then I run down, the PowerShell Command Prompt Window appears. So I had to enter the CPU threshold, which means I pick the number 75, and then it runs down the output of the Windows PowerShell Command Prompt Window, because it's using the get alias command on the PowerShell command. And this color for the foreground is green on the PowerShell Command Prompt Window. For the fourth example of Windows PowerShell ISE, however, I changed those two scripts. One, I used the variable which the $ARGS array, which I used the number 5 on my script. Now, second, I changed the get alias command to get command on the script. Now I run the script, and the list appears on the output pane, and it changed colors to red instead of green on the PowerShell ISE. Next is the parameter value for the variable Sargs array to the PowerShell Command Prompt Window. Now, I was using the start run box by using the PowerShell, no exit, and then the file name, and use the CPU threshold number, which is 75, and then it runs. On the PowerShell Command Prompt Window with the get command by using the source, the variable ARGS array. On the PowerShell ISE and the PowerShell Command Prompt Window. The next thing we want to know is, how do you create a reusable script? By using the create multiple folders. Well, you can use the notepad and type the lines of code on the notepad, and you can create multiple folders and subfolders on the Windows PowerShell Command Prompt Window and on your folder, and then it shows the list of directories on the PowerShell Command Prompt Window, and the name of the folder is created with subdirectories in your folder. So right now I'd like to show you what the next one is. For example, this is how I made my very own script. So when I go to the notepad, I type and jot down the lines of codes on the notepad, and then I press the save button, and using the create multi-photos.ps1, and then I use the start run box by using PowerShell no exit, and then my file name, and when I press enter, it showed me the list of directories on the Windows PowerShell Command Prompt, and then I was using 54 Sesame with the name on the folder and on the PowerShell Command Prompt. So it gave me a list of directory, but where I go to my SDB Share 2 folder, which I created, a month ago. It gives me the name of the folder called 54 Sesame, and as you can see, the name of the folder creates directories and subdirectories from the folder to the directory of PowerShell Command Prompt. So it starts with Sesame 01 through Sesame 54, because it has a lot. It has a whole thing on the directory and the subfolder plus the folder of my own reusable script by creating multiple folders and subfolders. So today's summary, we talked about Windows PowerShell and Camlet, and we talked about the basis of Windows PowerShell and several types of PowerShell commands and camlets, and few examples of PowerShell commands. And also we talk about scripting PowerShell, which is the basis of scripting PowerShell ISE, and using examples of pscript.ps1 on Windows PowerShell ISE, changing the script and using the variables. And also we got to specify the threshold and enter the threshold on the PowerShell Command Prompt Window and PowerShell ISE. And we using the command line parameters on the PowerShell Command Prompt. We create multiple subfolders in the existing folder and using a directory on the PowerShell Command Prompt. And that's the end of Windows 7 Project Part 1 and Part 2 of the Windows PowerShell and the Windows PowerShell Integrated Scripted Environment, also known as ISE. Thanks for watching with us. I hope you have a great time. This is Steven. Thanks for watching and have a good day. So everyone.